get carried off by mosquitoes.
Are mosquitoes the state bird down here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey there, and welcome to Solitude Acres. I'm here with my cousin Kristen, who I am visiting for the holidays, and so I just wanted to share this video with you and meet up with her. We love talking about all the different things that we're doing on our YouTube channels and just in our gardens and in our yard. And so we just wanted to share some things with you, and we're looking forward to doing this video together for the first time.
Yep. First collaboration.
Yes. But my cousin Kristen here will share more about her channel, but her channel is a little bit more about stuff on the land here too that she has.
Yeah, so my channel is Favored Acre Homestead, and my name is Kristen, and my channel is basically just gardening, homemaking, some cooking a little bit, and canning. And then we recently just bought some land, so my future videos will be some land stuff, and then building a new homestead from the ground up. But that's a little bit about my channel.
So we got a lot of potential with our channels that we're looking forward to, and we love getting together and kind of talking about it. And my hope is that, especially in the years to come, as our kids get older, that we will have more of an opportunity to get together more, maybe on a regular basis, be able to visit each other and just kind of do more collabs together, because there's just so much going on that we want to do and want to train our kids to do as well. I think that's something that's super important. It's just great to see our kids kind of hop in and do what should be natural to them, is just being in nature and just homemaking and learning how to just preserve life as a family. So anyways, we're just going to talk about a little bit what we would like to see happen in 2024.
Goals for 2024, maybe what we would do differently, maybe a little bit of a summary of this past year.
We're in the southeast region of the country, so for those of you who experienced last year's winter, it was unusually cold here. We were in the single digits, or I think we're about 10 degrees here, but where I live it was more like single digits. But I was visiting here for Christmas, and it was very cold, very unusually cold for us. So because it was so cold last year, I know there were some challenges down here with like your fruit trees and stuff like that. Do you want to?
Oh yeah, so we had a late freeze last spring. Well, 2023, we had a late freeze, and all the blooms on the satsuma trees and the kumquat tree, it killed all of the blooms. So this year we've only had a handful of satsumas, which is very unusual because normally there's hundreds. Now, even if it gets in the teens, the collards should be fine. Collards are cold hardy, so hopefully next spring we don't have a late freeze. But then we did have a drought this summer.
A lot of heat warnings you had too, right?
We had a lot of heat warnings where it was like 115 heat index, and I don't think anyone was gardening during that. It was just miserable, humid. Down here we're considered tropical, so it's very humid, and which makes the pests even worse. So like the sweet potatoes, they went through the drought, and we could tell that some of them had that look where they kind of split open a little bit and then they scar up and heal over, and that's what we had to deal with this year.
Yeah, the weather this year has been so different.
Well, we know why. Everyone knows why.
Yeah, so anyways.
We won't get political.
So anyways, what I know the difference like for us is last year we didn't actually, like I have raised gardens. I don't have an open garden like this, and my dad also has raised gardens. We're just kind of changing it up a little bit, and last winter I don't even think we really grew much, just because I don't think I was mentally prepared for like a fall and winter crop. We're not big on collards where we're at. They're in our family.
Really?
Yeah. She didn't know this because I'm always normally here. You don't know that I'm
Yeah,
not big on
and
collards.
collards are so easy to grow.
Yeah.
And mustard greens, so that's why we grow them.
So normally what we actually do have one fall crop that I know works really well, and that is broccoli. We have done broccoli before where we're at, and it does so great in the fall and winter.
Interesting.
I actually did do broccoli last year, that's right. I think we covered it before we left because we knew we were going out of town and going to be here. But broccoli's really the main one that we did for winter and like fall and winter last year. And they're very like cold hardy too. They do really well. I think sorry, might have been a hair, I don't know.
It was a fly.
Oh. Never know what bugs are gonna hit you down here.
Get carried off by mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes, the state bird down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Just gotta go watch out for them. This year for fall and winter, I actually tried from seed, never done before, beets, spinach, carrots, and turnips. Honestly, I did not look up any advice about how to do it. I just kind of tried it. My dad said I pulled the carrots too soon. They looked like they weren't doing anything,
Oh,
but
really?
they were little babies, but they tasted good.
Well, baby carrots. People will buy baby carrots. I actually haven't done carrots this year because I normally would. 'Cause I would have some that were like that,
Short, like
but
they don't go down.
Yeah, I thought it was maybe the soil down here. You have to time it for the carrots. It's so iffy.
I don't know if it's because I did it in a raised garden. Maybe they were too close together. I tried to separate them, but anyway. So, and the turnips, I just had no clue how to do. I know a little bit more tips from my grandmother now, so hopefully I can make it better next time because they were too bitter. I didn't harvest the greens, and I guess they got too tough and kind of pokey, and so anyways, it was a learning experience.
Now you know.
Yeah, I know. And the spinach, it would have these little itsy bitsy green leaves, but they would have never really
Interesting.
get bigger too much. So I don't know why. So it's just a learning experience. And I think that's the thing about going into 2024 is kind of figuring out what we want to do and how we want to do it differently. So I think for us, we're big on doing like banana peppers where we're at.
Huh.
I have not been able to get bell peppers for some reason and tomatoes to grow super well. I don't know if it's because I have too small spaces and they really...
You always plant them in the same spot? Not supposed to plant them in the same spot.
See? I didn't know this.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
different pots. Okay.
like you want to rotate them.
Okay.
Rotational.
Well, I didn't know that. See?
Unless you get a whole bunch of new soil in your pots. But you don't want to put tomatoes and peppers in you don't want to rotate those pots with each other. You want to start fresh.
So fresh soil, basically. So it must like steal the nutrients and get some balance.
And it causes disease a lot easier.
There you go. Okay, well I learned something new. So yeah, so peppers are a big thing that we do. Jalapenos, I do. They've always actually done super great.
Our jalapenos did good this year, and I didn't even plant them. I think Reagan planted them.
I mean, mine do super, like, it's wherever they're growing, they grow fine, and other stuff doesn't grow well. I did do some okra this last year, so I don't do a lot of it because it isn't a thing that all of us eat in our family, but I like it. I like roasting it in the air fryer, so that's just how I eat it.
I didn't do okra this year. I did okra the year before, and it did really good. It was like 10 feet tall.
They're humongous, and you have to be out there like twice a day because they will literally grow inches a day, and then they're too hard and tough, and then you don't want to eat them. So that's a learning experience. I don't know if I will do okra this year. I might make, because they do take up some room. I would like to do strawberries.
That's a goal one day for me at a permanent homestead, since this is not permanent.
Yeah, and my grandmother said something last night about strawberries, that you pick off the first season that you plant them, you pick off the
I've heard that
flowers,
too.
and then it helps them grow more the next year or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Because I've never been able to get them to grow well in pots. So I think I'm going to have to do like a special raised bed.
A patch
For them, yeah.
Videos I've seen, people have patches of strawberries.
Okay.
And they just leave them there permanently.
So every year
they come back.
Okay, yeah. Well, that'll be my forever home too, because right now we don't have the space for that then.
So what are your plans for next year?
So we're going to be doing a lot of beekeeping. For the garden, we'll just have to kind of see. I know we do a lot of like sunflowers and bee and bird loving flowers too, because that draws them all to the yard, and the bees are big on the pollinators. There's certain type of pollinator like plants that we plant for them. We always have blueberries, and then we have blackberries too.
I want to do berries, but I just figured I'll just wait until
because you don't want to leave them here.
We're clearing now, but I don't know exactly where I want everything, so I'm like, well, I might have to wait till next year to plant fruit trees, which is okay, but I'm just ready to plant stuff there.
I know we'll be harvesting garlic that we just planted. We have that on our channel as well if you're interested in looking at the shorts. Do you know that people love garlic shorts? I don't know why, but they've been some of our biggest hits for our shorts on our channel is garlic. People like seeing us plant garlic.
Reagan planted some garlic in that raised bed back there.
Oh, we'll have
The
to see.
onions and garlic.
And then I've got a whole bag of onions and garlic in the kitchen that I need to plant because they're sprouting.
Oh, there you go.
So I might just do it along here and up along the fence line.
This land has been in the family for how long do you think?
They've lived here 63 years.
You know, like where I live and where my parents live, the land hasn't been in the family, the land hasn't been processed over time. So that's the benefit that you have, is obviously having all this, like there's just so much depth in here of like nutrients, and I think that's the good thing, is you have so much going on here, and that's why stuff grows so well, is it's been growing for a long time. And then it had seasons of rest where it didn't grow anything for a while.
So for a long time, when my papa was here, they had a garden. Then they took a break from gardening. They had chickens. So for a long time, there was not a garden here. And then whenever me and Steven moved here next door to my grandmother, we started a garden because grandmama wanted me to plant some cucumbers. And then she told me about the beans. And so it just slowly, little by little, and then we ended up tilling. So we ended up tilling a little small space for potatoes, and that day we ended up tilling the whole garden. We were just gonna do like 2 rows for potatoes, and then we were like, well, let's just do beans. Yeah. And then the next year we did a fence because we had a rabbit come in. That is one thing I'd like to do this year, is plant a cover crop during the summer. So I don't want to grow anything during the summer, do a summer cover crop to put nutrients back in the soil, because I feel like since we've done a garden, everything has just like sucked up the nutrients. And we do use commercial fertilizers, which eventually I would like to never have to use a commercial fertilizer. And your food will taste better if you don't use commercial fertilizers. And then if we get chickens, which we're supposed to in January, then that will help with the soil. And the last time I tested the soil, the pH was good. Another problem that we have is the sunlight. So you can see that all these trees, it does not get enough sunlight like it did whenever my papa and grandmama had their garden, because they've trees were so small.
Yep, they've grown up a lot.
So that's another problem that we have. We do need more sunlight. And with the shorter days, these collards would be way bigger if we had more sunlight.
I know you mentioned it, just the heat down here too is just kind of, you can't really predict what it's going to do, and it's so hard to manage a garden in the heat. I mean, I even have that issue with my raised beds. It's like I don't want to go out there when it's blazing hot, and you have to go out there when it's almost dark outside, because it's just, you don't want to be out in it. My raised bed, it gets the afternoon sun, so it's going to get that hot sun. It doesn't get the morning sun, it gets the afternoon. So yeah, that's just something that, you have to take into account. We didn't have much rain at all this year, so hopefully next year we will, because that's really hard. We are also on city water. You are too, right?
We're on city, but we have the well.
Oh, you do have a well. Okay.
So there is well water.
Yeah, I hate using city water because it's like pumped full of chemicals, and it's like that's going into my plants. And
well, I have a friend whose husband works for the water company. He's like an engineer for the water company. He literally calls it just
water.
Treated sewer.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Treated sewer.
I would love to use a rain barrel if we could, but we would like to be on 1 to 2 acres. We want something a little bit smaller, manageable.
Well, all of this together is 1 whole acre, so you can kind of see.
We would like to get more space. 2024, I don't know what we'll particularly do. I know it will do cucumbers too.
Do y'all do beans?
I don't have the space for beans.
Even vertically?
Dad probably could. I don't know, because the way our garden...
Well, of course it would be vertically, but it wouldn't be a bush beans.
Probably we'll have to do it maybe in Dad's garden, because he's got a little bit more space, and that's where he grows like, sunflowers and other stuff too.
Remind me and I'll give y'all some seeds for the big mama beans.
I think that's the main things. Like, we just go through cucumbers and like peppers and zucchini and squash if we can, but even that can go crazy. That's a lot every day.
I will say I was so proud of our squash and zucchini. I
saw your video. It was so good.
I think it was 17 squash and zucchini plants, and it was 1 full row those plants got so huge. I had so much zucchini and squash that I turned it into the pineapple zucchini. And Homesteading with the Zimmermans, that channel, she has a recipe, and it's canning, but you just water bath it, I think, and you turn your your big squash and zucchini that gets too big, you peel them and you turn it into pineapple.
Oh, I remember seeing that on
and it's good too. So I love squash and zucchini.
Chickens, so what are you thinking? How many are you thinking of getting, and what kind?
I don't know what kind, because Uncle Stanley, he said that he would give me some that are either already laying or about to start laying.
So you're not getting the chicks, you're just going to get them more.
I don't want chicks because I don't have, if I had chicks, I would want to have them on like a porch or something to keep an eye out. So I'd rather go ahead and get them when they're a little bit older. But I have not done a video yet about our future chicken coop, but that is in the works. And I think I might just start off with maybe 10, I guess. Some people say start off with maybe just 5, but we go through around 10 eggs a day. So
I know, that's the thing. Like, I thought about it, how many we go through, and I asked a homeschool mom who raises chickens, and she was like calculating the cost of how much it costs to raise and feed her chickens, and she feeds them good feed, you know, not the cheapest. She calculated eggs that she buys every year versus like raising chickens, and it is cheaper. I mean, you're all putting in the labor of having to take care of them.
I calculated that we spent a max of $120 a month on eggs. And then I did the math on, after videos that I watched, of how much it would cost to buy the feed, and even calculated in treats and stuff like that. And I figured that it would be around anywhere from $55 to maybe $70 a month.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
You have the expense of building the coop, but that's like your
Initially,
one time.
A lot of people have chickens for a while and then they just want to sell used coops. So that's something, you know, that people can always do if they're interested in that. But I know my 12-year-old wants to build one with his grandfather, so he really wants to do that. So we're just trying to figure out the space and the money for that. But that is something I would definitely love to have. I think it would be a good thing for us and our family to have chickens. But
everyone I've talked to said it's easy.
That's what I've
having
heard.
chickens. So we have hawks. That's our only. We
Yes,
have
we do too.
hawks and raccoons and possums. So
we have in my parents' backyard, which is where we'd have the chickens, we have an 8-foot-high fence, wood. So that would be a real benefit, because we hear coyotes from time to time, so they won't be able to get in, you know, to that space.
Oh wow.
But yeah, the hawks and like snakes.
We have snakes.
That type of wooden fence, I think it would keep out most predators. But my mom hates snakes, and I know we all hate the idea of a hawk coming down and swooping and getting the chicken. But it's like, you know, is it worth it to have your own eggs? And I feel like
I think it is.
when you're dealing with the organic eggs, the free range eggs that we want, that it's hard to find, or you have to find a farmer to sell them to you, you know, and they're trying to make money off of their own eggs. I think it's just something that is worth it. So stay tuned on our channel. We might be getting that, but I know you'll be getting it. I want to see a documentation of it all. It's going to be an exciting process.
I overthink everything, so I get nervous too about having some other animal.
I know. It's
2 kids, a dog, everybody in a 900 square foot house, and then adding chickens, and you just got to make sure they get in at nighttime before the sun goes down. Yeah, so it is extra responsibility.
But I would say it's no more than a dog or a cat, really.
Something that I wanted to do for next year is plant more potatoes. So we did 3, I guess 40, I think I said 48 foot long rows or 45 foot long rows yesterday. Not yesterday.
It's okay. We're all messed up on our days.
In the spring, that's how many potatoes we did. And we ended up getting, I think I said around 250 pounds. I think that was how much we got.
You had a lot.
But we split it between everybody. So I would like to do more potatoes for us, because I want to can more. If I could get a year's worth and then be able to can maybe just 1 quart jar per week. So if I could get 52 quart jars of potatoes, I'd be happy, along with eating fresh.
We did a little bit of lettuce too. Have you ever tried lettuce, or is it too hot?
I grew lettuce one time and it was covered in bugs. It was awful.
Yes, it's hit or miss, but I know like I've done the butter lettuce, like
I want to try
the
that.
soft one, and then I've done a little
Those are
bit
pretty.
of the red romaine. I did do that. I tried to at least do one lettuce in the spring and summer for salads and stuff, so we can eat fresh with that. Everything we grow, I think, is just hit or miss, because you never know what the weather's going to be like. You never know what.
And it'll never be perfect either.
The weeds, I can't even with weeds. I'm just so I'm so done. I do have a natural weed killer that's like a vinegar base kind of. I don't know if you've ever tried that before. It's like high powered, like it'll burn your nostrils.
Oh wow.
It's bad. If vinegar could get worse, it's concentrated.
Ooh.
But it does work. It's just, but even then when you spray, it's like it still is going to come back, and you still have to be on top of getting that. We have like fire ants that try to get in our garden.
We have fire ants too. Yeah, the weeds that will make someone never garden again if they have a weed problem, because that's how ours got in the summer. You can see in previous videos, it was grass this high out here, because it was during heat waves.
It's so hot you can't take care, and it's like weeds thrive on heat. It's like it's an energy booster.
The best thing is like what you can see, there's leaves in between,
Yes.
but we're gonna put more leaves down because the weeds aren't terrible right
I've
now.
heard the hay.
Yeah, you just want to make sure it wasn't sprayed.
Right, yeah. Just something to kind of keep the weeds down. I mean, we even have like mulch on the outer parts of our raised beds, not where the food grows, but it still is like so hard to keep that
It's
grass.
a weekly maintenance.
It is.
And if you don't do it one week and you miss a
You
week,
regret it. You regret it. It makes up for making you miserable. The canning, you did a lot of canning. You mentioned the potatoes. What was the other favorite thing that you like to can that you've been enjoying?
So the potatoes and then green beans. So I canned 46 or 40. I'll have to go back and look. I wrote everything down that I canned, but I want to double that this year. My goal this year was 52 quarts. I didn't get that. I got like 46 or 47 quarts, and I realized that definitely does not last us a year, because we eat 2 quarts worth. So when I make them, I make 2 quarts at a time. I would need to even more than double that. I'm not gonna get upset or stress myself out to do it.
Yeah.
But it was nice reaching those goals. And then the pineapple zucchini, that was really good to can. And then I think I only had 3 pints of English peas, but I was so proud of those English peas. But I probably won't can that anymore because it tasted kind of burnt from the pressure canning.
Oh, really?
So you have to do it for a certain amount of time, but the sugar content in the peas, I think it causes that burnt taste. So I might just freeze these English peas that are blooming. I'll probably just freeze those instead of canning them. What else did I can? That was a video I was gonna make, is what all I can this year.
Yeah,
but
that'd be really good.
now I'm starting to, I don't have a full pantry like I did, but I can just talk about how much I canned.
Yeah.
But I've canned over 200 jars of stuff this year. And this is my first year ever canning.
We did a little bit of pepper jelly, actually.
Love pepper jelly.
It worked out pretty well. And then we just bought some apples and bought some strawberries and just did our own strawberry jam. We did have blackberry jam. That worked pretty good. We had enough blackberries. So we really tried to do the fruit. We didn't do much of any other canning
I'd
for
like to do
vegetables.
more fruit.
We did more freezing of our vegetables just for this year. I don't think we were fully into it, but I want to get the same pressure canner she has, because the way my parents have canned is to do it in a water bath, and that's kind of just, I know there's some good things about doing it that way too. I would like to do is start canning a little bit more with the pressure cooker, and just, you made it look so easy.
It is really easy with that canner. It is so worth it, and after Christmas they'll probably have sales. It's so worth it because you're gonna want it for the spring.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, having it. So there's a lot of things that we want to do. I'm excited to just continue to do more. You and I weren't trained deeply, but our parents and grandparents I think did some, but it wasn't like we were fully involved in these processes when we were younger. And now that we have our own families and are starting to educate our own children on things. I think getting back to
Well,
the
with-
basics of life and understanding how to do those things and be more self-sufficient.
I feel like our parents' generation was a skipped generation. Like our grandparents did it.
Yeah.
Our parents didn't really do it. They did some, but
when they were growing up, they did with their parents. But yeah.
But now with how the world is, I think a lot of people are wanting to get back to learning how to do just the basic things that we should know how to do.
Well, we went from everything being convenient and just like running to the store and popping it in the oven to now where it's like health conscious, and I think we're learning the value of doing stuff with our own hands. And even though it's a lot of work,
and it makes you feel better at the end of the day.
It's exhausting, but you know, my husband and I talk frequently of just the feeling of putting in a hard day's work towards something that you're eating. And I know from all my health studies is that when you touch the food or you pick the eggs and you take them in and you're actually connecting with what God created. And I think that there's something to that. There's something actually that happens in our bodies and in our minds chemically of a positive, almost like endorphins, like this is so exciting as I worked for this. I'm touching it now and I'm going to transfer it inside to something that benefits us as a family.
Same with preserving. Like when you pop that lid on a can that you grew it and then you preserved it.
Does that make you just want to cry?
It's like the best feeling. And then we've had several meals where we bought a pig from someone and had it butchered. And so we had like fresh bacon, homegrown eggs from Uncle Stanley, and then potatoes for hash browns from the garden, and that was breakfast. And it's like farm to table when you get your meat from local farmers. And if you can even get your vegetables from local groups or something like that, but it does make you feel a whole lot better.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It makes you happier.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it does that for men. But for us moms and having to take care of our family,
because we are homemakers, I think that's the thing too is but I think a man, you know, when he knows that he's brought home the food, basically brought home, like he's done his part in trying to bring stuff. I think it just depends on the person, but yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great that we were able to do this today and to just see each other's stuff.
It was fun.
It was cool to do. I don't know when we'll be able to do it again. Maybe in springtime. If
we could call these like our chit chats or something.
Yes.
Maybe anytime y'all are down, we just do one of these and just kind of chit chat.
Yeah, chit chat. That sounds.
It's not a pantry chat. It's a garden chat.
Gardening. Yes, I like that. Garden chat.
Our garden chat.
Garden chat with Kira and Kristen. We're gonna call it that.
Oh yeah, that's
what we're
good.
doing. So yeah, we're going to let y'all go for now because we got kiddos that are wanting our attention. But we are so thankful you stopped by today. And just make sure that you like and subscribe to our channels if you haven't already. Thanks for sticking with us this long. It's been a long chat, but it's been fun.
Yeah.
So we don't get to do it very often. Maybe we can get her to come visit and
that would be
check
so
out the
fun.
bees.
Yeah.
Check out the bees. Mom and Dad's greenhouse that we're trying to get it going. It's a work in progress inside. Dad's got all of it done on the outside, but like we're trying to figure out like what all are we wanting to do like in January and February to kind of start growing.
Maybe this year that can be one of our goals is to come up that way. Because I'd like to see the scenery and all that kind of stuff.
All right, well, we will let you go for now and hope y'all have a blessed holiday season, and we will see you in the new year.
All right, bye y'all.
Bye. All right, you want me to go first then?
It is a lot different with somebody else.
I know you feel like put on the spot. I gotta turn down my phone so it don't go off.
Oh, me too.
We are excited about training our kids. I know. Speaking of kids, you know, in families, because it's just wonderful to be able. It's wonderful to see your kids just kind of just go and pick fruit off the trees freely.
No, I just burped and I thought you heard.
No, I didn't hear it.
Since Mom was born, so, well, I don't want to tell her age.
Now, I thought about doing a rain barrel, but because we are allowed to do that in our state, we just can't. We're not supposed to like drink it, but using it for gardening, it'd be fine. But yeah, I mean,
how would they know?
I don't know.
I'm just so over the government. Wow.
Man. Okay, we're just gonna keep talking. Sorry, I'm not used to hearing noises when I'm recording. For some reason it threw me off. Okay.